sweet friends. Welcome to my porch. This is an episode of Sarah's Homemade Home, and this is absolutely my 100% least favorite day of the year, chore of the year. I dread this day. This is onion day. So today's the day when I have to process the majority of all of these onions that we grew. I will confirm with my husband, but I think that he planted like over 500 onions, and yes, they were all successful. So to say the least, I have a ton of onions that I need to deal with. So there's just a very few things that I want to talk to you guys about, but I do want to show you the process of what I actually do to process these. Now, onions can be canned, but they need to be pickled if you're going to go that route. Yes, I have done a couple of videos on doing pickled onions. I can do that, but fresh onions, or what I'm doing today, is basically chopping the onions, and the onions have to go into my freezer. So these are one of the items that I do allow to take up freezer space. Are they great fresh, like in a potato salad or a pasta salad? No. But anything and everything that you would cook with and use chopped onions for, spaghetti sauce, chilies, roast, anything in the crock pot, anything like that, you can, exactly like you're taking a bag out of meat out of the freezer, you can take yourself a bag of onions out of the freezer, and then it's good to go. For the past 3 years, I guess it's 3 years, probably 4 years, I have not bought a single onion at the grocery store except for the occasional little green onions like scallions, the little packages that are like $1 or something, just to make things pretty, like chicken salad or something like that. So otherwise, we grow and we eat all of our own onions for an entire year. So this is 100% a labor of love. I do not love this chore, but somebody has to do it, and it's Mama, unfortunately. So things that I can recommend. Number one, get your hair up. Do not, no pieces hanging down, no nothing. Get everything out and away from the face. If you're a man, put on a hat, because you cannot touch anything once you kind of get started in this process, and you will see why. It's very simple. But number two is I wear gloves, and these are just disposable gloves, but the onions, they have dirt still on them down at the root or the bulb of the onion. I'll pick one up to show. Here's a dirty one. So they do still have some dirt on them, but it's more so just so your hands aren't really going to smell just quite so horrid for the next week or so. So wear your gloves. The second thing that I really want to recommend to you guys, you see this white cutting board here? I get those at Sam's. They are over in my Sam's. They're over by the restaurant food aisle and things. We have probably at least 6 or 7 of these. They are a plastic cutting board, but when we are processing deer, when we're processing chickens, when we're processing anything like that, they are really heavy duty. But it's not my nice wood ones, so I'm not scratching up and ruining my really nice ones that I use at home. So go get yourself, they actually, I think, come in a pack of 2. So, like I said, we have lots of those. So go get yourself one of those if you're doing the big chores. The next thing that I want to show you guys or talk about, have yourself a good knife. We have so the brand name is Victronics, is how I'm going to say it. If you're a local East Tennessee girly, Bass Pro Shop, or not, when your husband is going to Bass Pro Shops, there's another store, and it's called Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I'm sure that you've heard of this store. It's the largest knife store, I think, in the U.S. I don't know. But I love going there. They carry this brand. They have a whole wall section of this brand, and I own probably every knife that they make. My chef's knife is this brand. My regular paring knives are this brand. I absolutely love them. This is one of their boning knives. These knives, this is what we process our deers with, our chicken. These are 100% excellent quality knives, and these are have lasted us years. I started this collection whenever he got married, so this has been a 10-year collection. These are really good quality knives. You do not want to use a knife that you're unfamiliar with. You want to use a knife that you are very comfortable using, something that you're not going to injure yourself with. The onions can get slick, so we grew our onions. Yes, onions. we grew our onions, we have pulled them, and we have let them cure here on the porch. And you guys saw the videos of that. They have all been on like metal screens or drying racks. My patio furniture, that is metal. That's why my patio furniture is metal, for one of these reasons. So they have been curing for almost a month, I would say. Are they past being due? No, because we've really had dry weather. Now, like last year, we had a lot of really wet weather, and I had to process these a lot sooner. But we've had a ton of dry weather here in the July season. So these are dried out really good. Now, we have several varieties. I have shared with you guys before, we get all of our onion starter plants from Dixondale Farms, but some of these are going to be storage onions that were just dry, putting them up in the nets. But the majority of these I have used in my canning, my cooking sauces. I will still leave a good amount left just raw for us to eat over the next, through the end of summer. The storage onions, I won't kind of break into those until like fall time. So anyway, I will pop back here, show you guys how I just cut up the onions and kind of a few of the steps that I do. If you're looking to do this, let's say that you did not grow your own onions. There are several, I know, like just East Tennessee, but there's other areas where you can find markets. And when I say markets, I mean like just family-run produce markets. There's lots of them around here. They will carry onions, especially in this time of the season. But if you become friends with the ladies at the counter and you ask them and say, I would like to buy a 50-pound bag of onion, those stores go to bigger markets every week. Every week they're bringing fresh produce to you. They would be more than happy to go and buy you a 50-pound bag of onions, and you are able to do this for yourself. Why I would recommend that is, number one, it's a better price than what you're going to be paying throughout the rest of the year. So if you can get yourself, and if you have freezer space available, it is a money saver. But number two, it's convenience. This is so easy to have bags of chopped up onions already in your freezer. And if you buy chopped onions that are in the frozen section, you are going to be paying, it's like $4 for a cup of onions. It's insane, the price of it. So that I would recommend. Sam's Club and Costco will also carry big 50-pound bags of onions, usually during the summertime, but they do not keep them throughout the whole year. So you just kind of have to look up on it whenever they have them. I have done that in the past, bought a big bag of them and processed them myself. Super convenient. That is why I would recommend that you do this. So anyway, I'll pop back here. Let's process that onion. No, leave my cup out here. I get a lot of questions from you guys on how I do all of this and hang out with my kids and keep my kids entertained. But I want to show you guys. So these are my ferns. This is a 5-gallon bucket of water. I'm telling you, you will keep your kids entertained for hours on end with a bucket of water and some cups. I tell them that they have to water the porch flowers, and they are entertained. They are entertained while Mama is out here working. So note to self, that's what Mama does whenever we're out here working. They get a bucket of water. Now, y'all, I've got this giant, this is my big stainless steel 16-quart bowl that y'all see me use all the time. It is completely full of halved onions. They're not filthy, but they are dirty. So what I do is, you can use the water hose and just stay outside if you want to stay outside, but they just need a good rinse. You don't have to wash them with soap or anything like that. Just rinse everything off and the dirt will slide right off of the onions. It's very easy. Now, we can go about this 2 ways. I have used my food processor before to process all of these. But honestly, when they're kept in the freezer, it does change the consistency of them. So I honestly like it to be a little bit of a bigger chop whenever I do freeze these. So if you prefer a really fine chop, go ahead and use your food processor. It doesn't take you all that much longer to hand chop these than to use the food processor. it's really just kind of a personal preference. But if this is your first time around, use the food processor, make it easier on yourself. That's perfectly fine. I have done it both ways, but I honestly kind of prefer them to be a little bit of a bigger piece. And then if I want them to be smaller pieces when I'm using them in a recipe, I just throw them into the food processor while they're still just kind of frozen-ish or just come out of the freezer, and then just puree them down. So anyway, that's the next step. We got to wash them, and then we're going to chop them. Now, I will talk about how I store these. We have the Meet Your Maker vacuum sealer. And honestly, we had some smaller bags than this. They are extremely reasonably priced. I really love them. But honestly, the difference kind of between the vacuum seal bags of the onions versus just the regular little sandwich bag, it's all not that much different in the freezer. So I'm going to save my fancy bags for another time, another reason, something that I need them for. And I just prefer to put them in regular, these are not freezer grade, they are just regular plastic bags. And this is a sandwich size bag because this will hold exactly about 2 cups of onions, which is perfect. It's perfect for spaghetti sauce, it's perfect for a roast, it's perfect for chili. Then that way it's just serving size, ready to go. Now, I do not try to stuff all these bags individually as I'm chopping. So your gloves are going to be on. You've got your cutting board ready. The onions are in one really big bowl, and then I have a secondary super big bowl that I'm going to set here to the side. So as I'm chopping the onions, the chopped onions are going to go into the new clean bowl, and then whenever I'm all done chopping all the onions, I will then get my baggies out and stuff them with all of the onions. So assembly line, we just have to keep it going, okay? Right, babies, and just like that, we have a giant 16-quart bowl full of chopped onions. Now, let me spin you. This whole table right here, this round table, those are my Patterson onions. Those are going to be my storage onions that we talked about. Those are what I'm going to put in the kind of pantyhose looking net, and we hang them up in our basement. There's the really big bowl of onions. It's a lot of chopped onions. But all of these I still have to process. So I have my work cut out for me. But I'm going to show you guys how I bag these up. But altogether, this 16-quart bowl of chopped onions, this took me less than 30 minutes. I would say 15 minutes to chop all of these up. So it really is worth doing it outside. Yes, I have been crying from the onions, but it's just part of it. Like I said, this is not my, I really and truly, we do not use the H word in our house, but I dislike this chore. So anyway, I'll show you guys how I bag them up. Okay, sweet friends, so I have finished cutting up the onions and putting them into my bag. So there's 2 cups of onions per bag, And my 16-quart bowl, I was able to get 22 bags from that. So that is 22 servings of me cooking and using onions in the freezer. So how I kind of go about my math on this is I'm going to do another round, and then that should give me 22 plus 22 is around 44 bags. I would love to have at least 52 bags in the freezer, and then that way I have a bag of onions to use per week, and something that I'm cooking, whether it be a roast, whether it be spaghetti, whether it be anything. So as you can see, I have plenty of onions to go through. I'm not trying to process all of these for the freezer today. So my goal is to get at least 52 bags put up. So I know I need to chop another round, but then that way the rest of the onions that are left here are going to be for my pickles. They're going to be for my spaghetti sauces, my Mexican sauce that I make. So you just kind of have to divide and conquer whenever you have mass quantities of things like this. Get the things put away in the freezer that you want to put away, and then the rest of it, you're just going to hop right in and just continue cooking, and then that way you know what you have left that needs to be used. So anyway, I love you guys. From the worst job here on the farm, from my heart to yours, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.